Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Colonel Eric Charon. I'm the 17 Wing Commander here in Winnipeg, also the Base Commander. We're going through some extraordinary times, and the Wing Chief and myself, Wing Chief Officer Fauché, wanted to spend a few minutes, one, to address some of your concerns, and two, to answer some of the questions that you've put on the Facebook page. We hope to be opening a dialogue here so that more questions can come free-flowing, and we can certainly look forward to making this a regular occurrence. First of all, we need to thank you, our military members, our civilian members, and of course our families who are supporting us in these very difficult, very strange times. We're going through uncharted waters here, but we're doing this together, and we are so impressed with the flexibility, the resilience, and the patience that everybody has put in trying to keep everything as normal as can be under the circumstances. We want to reassure you that as military leadership, all the way up the chain and down to the lowest level, our prime priority is the health and safety of all of you. We've heard a lot about social distancing. It's a theme that comes often in media these days, and we want to make sure that you don't forget or you don't mistake it for social isolation. You've heard all about the distancing. You've all heard about a certain space to keep between one another, but it doesn't prevent people from waving at each other in the distance. It doesn't prevent you from still being Canadians, smiling, and do it with military families do best when we move, when we relocate, when we're always reinventing ourselves, being neighborly as much as you can to offer to those perhaps around you who are missing a little bit of something, and you're better prepared for this situation. If you do find that you need some resources to yourself, it's normal to face some concerns, some anxiety perhaps for yourself, for your family. That's perfectly normal. It happens to all of us. But we do have some resources out there. One is the Military Family Resource Center webpage. You can find it online quite easily. The other one is the Personnel Support page, also on Facebook. They've started putting some videos on there to show some fitness regimes that we can practice at home so that we remain fit and focused during these times for the days where we can't walk outside, because we know that going outside, getting some fresh air, it's important as well. And finally, of course, there's the Family Information Line, available to you 24/7 in a bilingual format, and the number is 1-800-866-4546. Finally, health resources available from our government at all levels, both federal and provincial, and these include the Canada.ca pages, and you will see very clearly at the top of the page a label, a link for coronavirus. It has all the information you need to know, how to detect, what to do to prevent, and what to do if something happens, how to report it, and how to take care of yourself and your families. Manitoba also has a webpage and provides a lot of information and updates. Finally, before I give the floor to my wingman here to answer some of your questions and generate some more discussion for the future, help us flatten that curve. Help us help the health system here to take a small number of cases at a time so that doctors, nurses can give the people that really need the care they need, and the rest of us can stay out of the way and prepare to be able to help others that will require assistance in certainly the days ahead. Adjutant Chef.
Merci. All right, so you have 8 questions. You posted 8 questions online, and the first one being, what happens with postings? Well, they haven't been canceled yet. They have to be postponed. They may be postponed up to December 2020. Sorry. Expect posting dates to creep up to the right a little bit. So yeah, there could be some. You could be seeing a message that is pushed to the right when it comes to the dates. What happens with the house hunting trip is another question. Well, we have received an order from Ottawa, basically the CJOC Frago 005 up laser 20-01. Basically stipulates that all domestic and international house hunting trip will be suspended for an initial period of 3 weeks. So obviously for now this is no go, but again it's going to change. Things have changed basically almost every day, so we can expect something to change in the near future. So stay put for now with the house hunting trips. Question number 3, how far should members look to cancel travel plans? Well, now, commercial travels, including air, rail, and buses within Canada for personnel leaving, is not authorized until further notice. So basically, the only traveling is allowed right now, it's within 250 kilometers by using your own vehicle. So with that in mind, it would make sense to basically cancel your plans if they involve any kind of traveling outside these parameters. So I would also advise against doing any kind of new travel plans until this ban has been lifted. Question number 4. What about reimbursement for canceled travels? Well, yes, we do have a policy, and there's for this that covers this, and it's the CBI 209-54 reimbursement of expenses when recalled from or cancellation of leave. So go through your chain of command to have the process, and you can basically get that done. But again, it has to be pushed through your chain of command. Question number 5. What is happening with the MFRC daycare? Well, we've received today a wing-wide email basically stipulating that the 17-wing MFRC daycare remains open for essential and critical military members. So, if not currently registered with them, there are still spots available, so you can still do this. To register a member is to fill out a short-term care form and a health questionnaire. For infants and toddlers, there's also an extra form to fill out. So you just have to phone MFRC Child Care Center at 204-837-3626. They'll give you all the info you need in order to qualify for this. Question number 6. What about leave travel for compassionate reasons? Well, again, we do have an order that basically stipulates that that a travel exception may be granted by the RCF commander for compelling cases where the travel is determined to be mission essential, necessary for medical or compassionate reasons, or warranted due to extreme hardship. Talk to your chain of command for additional info on this. Thank you. Number 7. Will the U.S. forces stationed in Winnipeg be required to follow the same protocols, isolation, travel and restrictions, etc., as a Canadian member they share headquarters space with? Answer, basically, yeah, they are to follow the guideline given from the One Canadian Air Div. Also, they are following their own guidelines, which are actually more restrictive than ours. Question number 8. Should we start prepare a bug-out kit in case that the population would require help? Well, as military member, you're always expecting to be ready to deploy short notice if our help was requested by the provincial government. Although there would be a gradual ramping up of the readiness levels, which would enable everyone to prepare accordingly. So, sir, that's all I have for the questions today.
Message, Chef. So, ladies and gentlemen, just to perhaps re-emphasize two of the points that the Wing Chief brought up based on your questions. For posting delays, the CDS has made it clear. General Vance is going to look at families first. So if there is to be a delay in the active posting season lasting as late as the 31st of December, families will be looked at first so that you can move to your new place of employment, get the schools, and get the employment perhaps that your spouse is looking for. The other point to emphasize is with your travel. Many provinces now are starting to come down with interprovincial restrictions. They will stop you at the border. They will ask you some questions. And this is different for every province. So check ahead in terms of where you're traveling. If you're traveling by road, if you're traveling by aircraft, it certainly will be some different rules, but call ahead. Make sure that you can get to where you want to be rather than being stopped and having to turn back. As we close our session, I remind everybody to do what's right, and that's keeping an eye out for one another, what we do best as Canadians. Military families, we're very experienced at helping each other out. We're used to getting ripped out of comfortable areas where we have friends, families, and going to places where we don't know anybody. That makes us welcoming. That makes us ready to understand what it means to be in a difficult situation. Reach out to those who can't, and we'll look forward to getting more of your questions very soon and keeping you well informed. Merci bien. Au revoir.